Hello and welcome to Spiderwebs, a collection of spooky stories and haunting hearsays. Original stories written by me, the Z, for all of you.
Welcome to the Spiderwebs podcast.
Welcome to the Spiderwebs podcast.
Welcome to the Spiderwebs podcast.
And in tonight's story, titled The Ghost of Mr. Hubbard, you're going to hear about an old gentleman who enjoyed what he did for many, many years. The story was first heard on the Retroist Halloween Special number 4, episode 121. The reason I'm playing you this story tonight and next week's story is because all of my goodies are being packed up into little tiny alcohol boxes. Yes, my friends, there's nothing like the ABC store when it comes to getting boxes for packing. I'm going to post this story in its original state. There wasn't any sound effects for the story when I put it up for the Retroist. So I hope you enjoy it. There was 2 stories that I've done for the Retroist podcast and past Halloween specials, and I urge you to check out the Retroist podcast if you haven't already. I've talked about him for many, many years, and you can find him at retroist.com.
Remember, folks, your kids won't know a thing about Atari or the Smurfs unless you educate them. So have them listen to the Retroist podcast weekly at retroist.com. You'll be glad you did.
So without further ado, here is the story. Mr. Hubbard was going on his 50th year performing as the Ghost in the Woods at the Halloween Haunt Spectacular. His job was to swoop from tree to tree about 15 feet above the ground on cables that he attached to himself and the trees. Then he would slowly walk back and forth in front of the black lights to reveal his white tattered clothing and his white tattered hair. When Hubbard started 50 years ago, all he had to work with was a sheet, a lamp, some rope, and some really good imaginations from the guests. He started when he was 17 years old on October 30th, 1962, and he loved his contribution, and everyone truly enjoyed his performance. Everyone, until 1998. That was the first year that 8-year-old Billy came through and saw Mr. Hubbard and yelled, "That ain't scary, it's just some doof in a costume." The words didn't bother Mr. Hubbard, it was what followed. Billy chucked a big piece of wood at Mr. Hubbard, knocking him down to the ground. Everyone in the line started laughing when they saw a ghost fall over from being hit. Of course, this hurt Hubbard's noggin more than his self-esteem. And for the next 11 years, Billy kept coming through trying to taunt Mr. Hubbard every single time that he came close to his section. But Mr. Hubbard was always watching not to get clunked in the head again by this bully. He would never let this fool ruin his ghostly performance again. Turning 67, Mr. Hubbard was considering to retire from this Halloween event. He was so happy to play the part of a ghost for so many years, and he enjoyed watching the children scream and point at him as he swooped from tree to tree hiding in the night. He felt he was a living tradition, but he was tired, and his legs and his arm hurt from all the swooping over the years. So he decided 50 years would be just fine. He could live with that. It was October 30th, 50 years to the day, as he set out to perform his final ghostly role. He started at the left side of the woods and swooped from tree to tree as the children came through his section. They screamed and pointed in fear, just the way Mr. Hubbard liked it. What a way to end the season, he thought. He swooped to the right side of the woods only to see someone laying down on the ground in front of the black lights. Hubbard went to check to see if the man was okay, and when he looked up, he saw Billy, now 20 years old, being carried off in handcuffs. Confused, Mr. Hubbard looked over to see parents and children crying as they pointed at the man on the ground. He picked up the rock that laid next to the man's head. Mr. Hubbard felt his own temple to reveal the gash where the rock had hit him. He dropped the rock and slowly walked over to the tree and sat down. "I feel no pain," he said. "Why stop now?" It was now Halloween night, and the Halloween Haunt Spectacular went on to perform again with a giant sign that read, "In honor of old Mr. Hubbard." There were people lined up as far back as the entrance coming to visit out of respect. You should have heard them scream and point as they saw his ghost swooping from tree to tree. Only this time, there were no strings attached.
All of Zerbinator's music and podcasts are under the Creative Commons license, which allows retelling and rebroadcasting as long as the author is notified and credited. For more great escape pods, please visit www.zerbinator.wordpress.com. If you would like to contact Zerbinatorland, you can send an email to instrumentally@gmail.com or give us a call at 571-408-ZERB or 9372.